But
let me hit it. All right, there.
Okay. Hey, good evening, all you minties, and welcome back to another episode of Reelz Talk with your host, the amazing Amanda, and my lovely co-host, the uncanny Omar. How you doing, Omar?
Doing well. How's everybody doing today? And how are you? How are you doing? I like your shirt.
Thank you. I like your shirt as well. Yeah. What a beautiful emblem there. Very nice.
Yeah,
yes.
very nice.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, for being a little bit late. We were doing some last minute comics discussion, theory discussion before we started the video. So there we go.
We wanted to be as professional as always. So it's time for a new episode of the Amanda Show with a special guest star. I have a special guest star. That is right.
Very special. Yes.
Hugo, how's it going, buddy? Jose Fuentes. Hopefully everybody can join in on this conversation. I think it's going to be fun to talk about. This is something that I like to talk about, and that's just the theories and hearsay, but our theories and hearsay based on what we've seen so far in the MCU. So, Panda, you want to tell everybody what we're talking about today?
Yes. So we mentioned it last week, but with the conclusion of Falcon and Winter Soldier, we thought it would be a great idea to start discussing some of the theories that we might have about a possible Dark Avengers team forming here in the near future in the MCU. So we're looking at characters that have either already been introduced into the MCU, we know are going to be introduced, or there's a possibility they may be introduced given some of the projects. I know Mephisto. So we are definitely going to be looking at all of that today and kind of coming at it from some different angles, and then kind of coming up with what we both think, each one of us, I think, have a set lineup, I guess, of who we think could possibly be in this. And of course, it's Marvel, right? And it's only the beginning. It could still evolve from here. I mean, who would have thought, God, in 2012, when Avengers came out, that eventually the Avengers team would have Ant-Man and Captain Marvel and would add all these people. So
I'll tell you who. Kevin Feige.
Because Kevin Feige knows all. He is God in this universe.
Oh, hey, now he's not.
Yes, that's right. So
he's not I'm sorry. I mean, he's okay.
Yeah, he's like
hashtag restored the Feige universe, right?
You don't need to restore it. It is alive and kicking, my friends.
That's right. I'm trying to piss her off early.
Yes. So the first thing that we should probably talk about before we get started, this is what Omar and I were kind of talking about, is the ideas of, so for my team, there are people that most likely may be on a Thunderbolts team, but so my theory is that in the beginning, I don't see them trying to develop two competing teams because some of the characters, as far as we don't know how some characters are going to come across on screen. And then if they already have or have not, how they're going to, who's going to be a standout. And then trying to have two competing teams could be a lot for a universe already jam-packed with other teams, the possible Young Avengers coming on board, God knows what else. And so that's where I'm coming from it. Omar's coming from it from a different angle.
Yeah, so really, really quick, if I may intervene here. If you don't know, in the comic books, there is a big twist to the Thunderbolts. And I'm not, for those people that have not read it, I don't want to spoil it, but I don't see that happening in the MCU. I don't think they have enough history to do something like that, or enough characters.
Yeah.
So I can see Thunderbolts being a little bit different in the MCU, and we already have Thunderbolt Ross in the MCU, so it's easy to take that name. And then Amanda was talking about Dark Avengers and how they're going to maybe mesh up both stories. So honestly, before coming on this show and before talking, that's what we were actually discussing. Before talking to her about it, I was like, oh, they're going to come at it from there. We're going to have Thunderbolts and we're going to have Dark Avengers. But then the way she said it, and I totally forgot about this, that Kevin Feige, as much as I love the man, loves the basics of comic books and loves simplification. Doesn't like convoluted storylines. I mean, if you think about every single movie that he's done, there's really not over-the-top convoluted storylines. They're pretty easy to follow. Yeah. And I use the word simplistic, but they kind of are. And there's nothing wrong with that because they're still fun and they're still enjoyable and they're still good movies.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think I'm going to go the route that you're taking and say, okay, they are I don't think they're gonna do Thunderbolts because I thought, okay, Contessa's making something. She's making Dark Avengers.
Yes.
I have Thunderbolt Ross. He's gonna have the Thunderbolts. But this is just me thinking, right? Like I haven't seen Black Widow. I don't know this is everything that we just know so far. But it's just weird to have two teams. But it would be so fun to have two teams to replace the Avengers because Captain America's on the moon and we don't know what the hell the Avengers are doing. So for now, we'll stick to this until we hear, hey, there might be actual Thunderbolts. If we see like Black Widow and we're like, okay, they're totally doing Thunderbolts and they're going to do Avengers, we will go back and visit this. And hello to everybody in the chat. We are not ignoring you all. We're just kind of introducing this episode.
And the segment. Because obviously it kind of needs a little bit of a lead up till we get talking to it. So, and
in case you're not familiar with the comics, so Thunderbolts had a twist, and I can't explain the twist, but it's a bunch of characters that join a team after the heroes went away in the Heroes Reborn universe. So when the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Thor, all these characters went away for a year, these new heroes stepped up. That's what the Thunderbolts were, with a twist. You can find out for yourself by reading that first issue. Dark Avengers is much more simpler. Dark Avengers is at the end of Secret Invasion, which, by the way, is coming in the MCU.
Yep.
The U.S. government had no more faith in Tony Stark. They were like, dude, you let this happen. You let a bunch of Skrulls intervene and a bunch of government agents. What the hell? And he's like, oh, man, my bad. I'm just a guy in an armored suit. And then steps up Norman Osborn, who was this evil villain for a long time. And then they tried to do something that they did in D.C. With Lex Luthor and making him into a good guy. So Norman Osborn was like, hey, I'll lead Hammer and I'll make my own team of Avengers and I'll guarantee this will never happen. Sure. This guy that banged Gwen Stacy on the side and did all these horrible things to Spider, put him in charge.
Norman, I know, right? Well, it's Norman Osborn. Who would put him in charge?
But that's the origin of the Dark Avengers. That's how they came to be. So after Secret Invasion, this new team was formed of Dark Avengers, taking the place of known characters. So I think that's where this will be fun.
I think it will too. Gideon, just because he's been set in multiple times. Yes, you got it. Yes. Are you talking about the little bookshelf I have up here, which I can't believe you can still see it because my new mic stand has it in the way, but I had to replace the Omnis with some smaller books because that shelf was not long for the world if I kept those Omnis on it. So I had to.
So I put
work books, so when I'm doing stuff for work, it looks like I'm uber professional a little bit with like my project management book up there. So there you go.
Oh, okay. You're faking it.
I'm faking it.
Switch them out when you do this show because you gotta look professional when you do this show.
Exactly.
So that's where we are. We're taking everything we've seen so far in the MCU, and it does. That helps Amanda because she isn't really familiar with the Dark Avengers storyline.
Yeah. As many Marvel comics as I've read, I have not read Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts yet. So.
Well, you don't really need to because the plot isn't that difficult. It's hey, this bad guy's pretending to be this good guy for the government. So why?
There we go.
All right, let's have some fun. Amanda, how do we set up the Dark Avengers, or have we seen that already?
So I think we've already kind of seen it. First with Contessa's introduction. I think that she's going to play a major role. I think that I think there's going to be more than one person behind the scenes working on this. I also think that Thunderbolt Ross might be working on it. That's why I think the fact that she's in or was supposed to be and is still in Black Widow, I think there's a reason for that. And I think her and Thunderbolt aren't just, they're not going separate ways. I think they're working together, if you will. She clearly needs someone. She's, someone who is pretty high up in the government, which I would say General Ross, or at least in the military is, or was, or whatever his station is. We don't know yet because of the blip or whatever the case may be. But I think that's what is going to happen. So we've already seen, I think, the first recruit, which obviously would be U.S. Agent or John Walker. And that's the only gift that I thought I could use for him because that makes the most sense.
Okay.
But that's who I think would be the first. That's who I think would be the first in the lineup.
So you think Contessa and General Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, are working together to recruit a new team? Because she said things are going to get weird.
Yes.
Whatever that means.
Weird.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. So my idea for this Dark Avengers comes from, we have to introduce characters that people are already familiar with, right? Because I thought about this. In Dark Avengers, you have characters like Dark Wolverine, but we have introduced a Wolverine into the MCU, and it would be really weird, and I don't see it happening, for them to say, well, here's Dark Wolverine. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm omitting that character. And you all know that this is not going to be the team. The team that we see in the comics is not going to be the team that we see in the movies or in the TV shows. So if this takes place after Secret Invasion, then I kind of see some kind of reform. There were rumors that Norman Osborn was coming over into the MCU universe, and I don't know where they came from or how all those rumors started.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of, just in case, I'm taking that off the table, and I'm going to include the Iron Patriot, played by this guy right here.
Yeah.
So it's the return of this guy as the Iron Patriot. We've already seen the Iron Patriot armor in the movies.
Yes, we have. And
we've seen the president of the United States wearing the armor, so people are already thinking, okay, that's a good thing. And it reminds us of Iron Man, and Iron Man sacrificed his life. So it's a good symbol to have, very patriotic. Justin Hammer, guy in the suit, though, you don't really need to know who it is in the suit.
Yeah, but it'll probably be Hammer. And given that we have Armor Wars coming up as well with Don Cheadle's Rhodey, and that's going to be kind of the basis of when Stark Tech falls in the wrong hands. So there's a great possibility we might see something like this coming out of that. Because I think that has to happen, right?
Yes, absolutely. Now, there was really only one man that could have been in the Iron Patriot suit. That I had a choice before this guy right here.
Was it Terry? What if they did that? What if he's a completely new character?
It's Terrence Howard, and he's like, this time, I'd lose it.
Yeah, what if he's like, dude, I'll just come back, but just maybe different. I don't care, I'll come back. It'll be the weirdest thing in the world, but would it be the first thing in the world that would happen?
He likes your mic, by the way. So I think that's a possibility right there.
Yes.
That's my first choice as somebody that people are familiar with from the movies, and
yes,
really character that when you think of Iron Patriot, you think Dark Avengers, or you think Norman Osborn, Dark Avengers.
Agreed. So another character, and I know because there's several characters, obvious characters we could talk about, but there's some that are not so obvious that I want to bring up, ones that have already been introduced into the MCU. One of those we already know we're going to see again, and that is Abomination and She-Hulk. And I could see possibly somehow bringing him on board as their dark version of the Hulk, maybe. If he's already going to be in She-Hulk, I have a feeling either they're going to keep using him or they want to use him as like the opposite of She-Hulk, because I think they're going to maybe phase out Bruce Banner at some point, but we'll see what happens. But that's one of the people I think, if they had to, if we're kind of going the similar route of where they kind of have mirror characters of the good Avengers, then you might see an Abomination in there as well.
And to me, that's the beauty of making something like this, is you're going back and revisiting movies that, like Hulk is one of those movies people either liked or hated, and you go back and revisit it, and you're like, oh, it's Tim Roth. Tim Roth is coming back, and you told me that Tim Roth is back in the She-Hulk show, and we still don't know if they're going to use Jennifer, right? We don't know if she going to be She-Hulk, or are they going to go another route with She-Hulk?
Oh, you mean Tatiana Maslany?
Yeah, we know that. Oh my gosh, She-Hulk.
No, she'll be She-Hulk. I believe she'll be She-Hulk because they've shown her
like if it was confirmed who was going to be She-Hulk or not.
Yeah,
like there's different She-Hulks in the comic books, and I didn't know if it was going to be Jennifer Walters. I didn't know if they were going to go that route, if they were going to go the route of other characters. Okay.
Yeah. So Lohi had a good question about this, and yes, can they do it? That's a good question. Now, keep in mind they've had Hulk this entire time, and he is already set to appear in She-Hulk. So, regardless, they must have some agreement where they can utilize the character. So, I think they're playing nice to that extent. We won't see the Hulk movie or the Incredible Hulk on Disney Plus, but that's a whole other story.
We'll do a whole episode on that.
Yes, yes. I think that they have an agreement. That's why we've been able to see the Hulk in so much. And then, of course, we have the She-Hulk in addition to seeing Abomination once again return to the screen.
Marvel and DC are too woke. I switched to manga. Dude, I got bad news, man. Manga's got a lot of woke manga too, man. Them titles, they're in your face about it. What's up there, buddy? Project Viking, how's it going, brother? Love seeing that guy pop up. I think Andy for the super chat.
Yes, I like what Project Viking said about how he might be stabilized into Red Hulk. I think Red Hulk was actually in the Dark Avengers, right? So that would make sense.
Ben Wilson, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Omar, tell David Gabriel we just need Justin Hammer and the Thunderbolts. That's how it works, right? True. And now David and Kevin, like I'm in first name basis with everybody, which I'm not. They time to time, like, cause I mean, you got to think Kevin Feige is in charge of everything entertainment wise, including the comics. But I mean, he trusts David to run that department. But it's not like, hey, like he calls David up and be like, hey, we're doing Dark Avengers. You better release an album. It's never like that. Sometimes he finds out like we do. Yeah. What's up? There's my buddy Graham. How's it going, buddy?
Manuel Harper had a good thing. He said, I was under the impression the Abomination was dead, but then again, it's the comics. Well, I mean, if you remember when Alfred Molina in his little article, was it Variety or Vanity Fair, that he talked about just spilled all the beans when he asked John Watts, how is he going to be alive? He's like, no one's really dead. So I think at this point, except for Tony Stark, he has to be dead. I think he has to be dead. Other than that,
he's way too much money to resurrect.
Yeah, he's just too expensive to resurrect. He can't do that. I'm
loving the conversation. I'm loving the interaction.
Me too. Yes, I see some folks are putting up their own versions, which is great. We'll start posting those too as we finalize ours. So yeah, go ahead. What's another one you think might be on there?
So while I'm not going to use someone like Norman Osborn because he's such a heavy hitter in both Dark Avengers and in the Spider-Man universe, and at any time Sony can be like, we're done, pull him out. That's why I decided to go the Contessa and Justin Hammer route. I am going to borrow someone from the Sony universe, and that is the character of Venom to give us our Black Spider-Man costume. Because I feel like that would be such a cool thing. Because, Venom in the movie is an anti-hero. He doesn't really have a place in this world and doesn't really fit the role of a superhero. But I can see him joining a team like this, especially for money or for a possible cure, whatever it is, and joining as the Spider-Man. And then fans automatically know, oh, there's a guy in here that's dressed like Spider-Man. That's cool. Oh, and it's Tom Hardy. I saw that movie with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So immediately fans that don't read comics are like, oh, that's cool. He's joining this team of a Black Ops Avengers, maybe. We don't know. But I think that's one I'm definitely borrowing from Sony.
Yeah.
Because even if they pull him, they're like, okay, we're done. And it's Black Suit Spider-Man. It's not like it's the end of the Dark Avengers. They can continue on. Whereas if you put somebody like Norman Osborn in charge and them having to pull it, that would be rough.
Yeah, and that's the only reason, because I put a couple of people on my list as far as MCU, maybe the MCU Spider-Man villains. And the reason that Norman Osborn has been so talked about, and I actually had him on the list for a little bit, but is because there is this idea that he is that benefactor they spoke about in Ant-Man and the Wasp that we were never introduced to, and that person is creating or pulling different villains from different universes, and that is why Peter has to go to these different universes or multiverses to stop them. That is the theory right now, and so that's why I'm a little hesitant to put anyone, because I think that Sony still, because we just got news, and we'll talk about later on about the Silk TV show on Amazon. So I still think that Sony's really pushing hard for a Sinister Six, and to pull any of their villain as characters for a Marvel team up, I think it's going to be difficult, but we'll see. That's why it was hard for me to put any of them in there, because I would love to see if anyone would be in there in my world. It would be a non-dead Mysterio would show back up, because I just love Jake Gyllenhaal.
Let's cast the Sinister Six in another episode.
We're going to do that, or the Vulture. Because both of them were fantastic. So either one of those villains, because they're already MCU villains, they weren't from the original, just other Sony verses. I would be okay with that if they showed up. Or heck, even Matt Gargan. This guy's supposed to be Scorpion. I'm still waiting for him to become Scorpion. So when is he going to be Scorpion? Like, and wasn't Scorpion in, now correct me if I'm wrong, in the Dark Avengers, didn't he play the Dark Spider-Man? And that's a guy that they could throw into the Dark Avengers as a Dark Spider-Man just because he's not as well known yet of a villain in the MCU because he only made those 2 brief appearances in Homecoming. So
that they could tie that in, but I think they would. I think if it was Sony and Marvel doing something, they would cash in on the fact that they have Tom Hardy signed on to do whatever, and you know he's a bigger name. Really quick, we have a super bad candy. Manga's dominating comics and sales. Remember that. Manga has always dominated comics and sales, man. Just look in the 80s, 90s, the early odds. Comics have never sold as well as manga. There's a reason why
Demon Slayer did in Japan or worldwide.
Look at the sales of Demon Slayer, and before that, look at One Piece. Look at Dragon Ball in the 80s. Dragon Ball Z. It's insane. So Amanda, who let me see. I think it's your turn.
Is it? Okay. So
who else have you heard, or who else would you like to see?
Okay, so another pick I had, and again, this is someone who's already been introduced in the MCU. We'll get to my 3 obvious picks. I'm sure we'll both have them on there in a second. But this person is something that we know they're not dead, and that is Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay. I think that she might make an appearance. I believe she or he at the time, or in the comics, he played a part in one of these in either Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers at one point.
He was in Norman Osborn's Thunderbolts.
Okay.
And that became, but he was not in Dark Avengers, but he was in Norman Osborn's Thunderbolts team.
Yes. So
it was a weird. Oh man, her character was so.
But see, they're helping her out, right? So she's not dead. We know that they're working on her power so they can be stabilized or fixing her, right? So I don't know if we still don't know what the heck Quantumanium is about at all. We have no idea yet. What
Kang the Conqueror, like that's a done thing.
That's it, Kang the Conqueror. So there's a possibility we could see her pop up again, if nothing else, for a Dark Avengers. So she's my other current MCU. I have a couple of people who have not been introduced, nor do I know if they're even going to appear. But those are my hypotheticals too. So
yeah, and mine are just kind of out there. Here's another one. I don't know if this would mean anything, but just to kind of fill out the roster. Now, in the comic book version, it's definitely so it's Moonstone that plays the role of Captain Marvel in the Dark Avengers, and I say let's bring somebody back from the Captain movie to play the role of Captain Marvel in the Dark Avengers. I think that would be kind of cool. She is a Kree, so
yep.
She's easy on the eyes.
Maybe
it's just because I had a thing for Smurfette. But anyway, this character as Captain Marvel, I think that'd be kind of fun. Just, bring in somebody that we've seen already. And
exactly.
How you doing, buddy?
So the only thing with that, so I also thought Moonstone, that was one of my characters that hadn't been introduced yet that I thought, but I don't think it'll be Gemma Chan. That's the actor or actress who plays that character. But I think it'll be, so right now Captain Marvel 2 has someone called a woman named Zawe Ashton, who's in an undisclosed role, who will be, she is, I think she is Circe in the Eternals movie now. That actor.
Stone, the actress? Same actress?
Yes. Hold on. Gemma Chan Circe.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I think she is. She is. And she's the lead character, apparently. So she is. So, okay. So she might not be, but this is this is the actress who is coming on in a undisclosed role. Her name is Zawe Ashton, and they are saying she's going to be a villain. So here's someone who could play a Moonstone or the bad Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel, if you will, because we know she's going to be Captain Marvel 2 in a role of some kind, most likely a villainous role.
We don't know anything about Captain Marvel 2. We don't know what yet.
We know Monica Rambeau's in it. That's about it.
Okay, so I was gonna say we don't know if it takes place on Earth or it's outer space. Huh? Yeah. I just found out. Gemma. I heard you say her name, Gemma Chan.
Yes. So I think if we do a moon, because I also agree with you. I think Moonstone or that character would be in it. as a Captain Marvel, a bad Captain Marvel, if you will, or dark Captain Marvel, and it would be this actress because she's already casted in Captain Marvel 2.
We got you, man. We'll keep going as long as possible. This is a lot of fun. This is the kind of stuff we talk about.
So people have fan casted Moonstone as Natalie Dormer.
Oh, good. I love that woman.
I love that actress, and I wish I wish she would be in a Marvel movie or TV show of some kind because I think she's fabulous. She stole so many scenes in Game of Thrones.
She's got to be the new Emma. She's got to be the queen. Like, you put her as White Queen. Right. Oh my God, you put her in.
Oh, that would be so amazing. Jack, Eternals comes out in November. Hold on, I have the exact date. November 7th? November 5th. Sorry, I was 2 days late. November 5th is when it comes out.
Yep. Kevin Feige says that Kamala Khan is also in Captain Marvel too.
So
it probably takes place on Earth and probably here. Yeah, she was in First Avengers. She was in Captain America. That's right.
Oh man, she made Peggy so mad. Or maybe Cap made Peggy so mad. Either way, yes. Peggy. Yes, and Leo, this is a good point. I was really hoping that after she won the bet, which I just watched Nomadland. It is a fantastic film. Hats off to her. I think she deserved the award. But I was hoping that then they would release an Eternals trailer that says directed by Academy Award winner Chloe Zhao. Like, that's what I wish would have happened. And it hasn't happened. And it's so sad because
now the ads for Eternals, when it comes out, they can start saying by Oscar winner Chloe.
Oh, yes. That's very exciting. Yeah. Of all the things that happened on the Oscars that were so disappointing, but that was one good thing that came from it.
Anyway, I have a couple of more. Now we've heard rumors, and right now nothing is confirmed. But we've heard rumors of Charlie Cox playing the role of Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. And again, we've heard rumors of everybody being in Spider-Man 3 except my mom. Yeah, I'm serious. Like, everybody's in Spider-Man 3. So we don't know yet, and until I see it, but based on that, if we're okay borrowing things from a couple of Netflix shows that stand out, then by God, I'm going to put this guy in as Hawkeye.
Oh, yes.
The guy that played Bullseye in the Daredevil season 3, never dressed up as Bullseye, always fought in the Daredevil costume. So he was getting, I can't remember if they said, was he getting adamantium put in, or was that just wishful thinking?
I think it was something like that. If it wasn't adamantium, it was like maybe they're trying to say vibranium. Something was being put into him. So yeah.
Yeah. So this is
that would be a cool one.
Would love to see as a Hawkeye, like or Dark Hawkeye, or call him whatever. I think that would be really cool because, fans of the Netflix show are already familiar with him. And then fans of the comic books are like, oh, that guy's going to be, he's definitely going to be Hawkeye.
Exactly.
So, Hawkeye's a familiar character in the movies. I think, that would work, especially if you give him that silly mask that.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Movies, be kind of cool.
As long as he has a bow and arrow, it's fine. People would recognize him as a.
That's a question for Amanda. Was he on Heart of Dixie?
I don't know. I never watched Heart of Dixie. Sorry, Rachel Bilson. I love you, but I did not watch that, so I don't know.
I obviously
I can look it up though. I'm sure he was probably on Heart of Dixie. So on CW. Yeah.
Okay. I like this team so far. So far we've got a few characters, and I like if they go the route of what you're saying, that new actress that might play
Zawe Ashton,
or Rogue, as some people want to say, or some people want to say. Pretty interesting though to see Rogue being introduced as a villain. Well, she was introduced as a villain. I don't know how I feel, because I have special feelings for Rogue. All right,
I know you do.
What else?
Let me answer Leo quick. I am also sad Wolf Walkers never got the Oscar, but they don't have Disney money, so I think it was a better movie than Soul. But it's sad too. Okay, so another person before we get to the three that I think have a really good chance of being on here. It's someone we don't know if they're going to be in it, but because Russell Crowe decided to open his mouth and tell us all who's playing in Thor 4, Love and Thunder, I think because this guy was in it, I have a feeling that Ares could or would make an appearance. I don't know if they have anyone casted for it, but we know Zeus is going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder. Thank you, Jose Fuentes. Yep, because that's who Russell Crowe is playing. So I'd be interested to see if his war counterpart, brother, Ares. Is Ares his brother? I don't remember Greek mythology and how it all works. I think he's a brother, right? Yeah. So Ares.
Zeus? I thought he was his son.
Son, okay, yes. Yeah. Regardless, I could see him possibly making an appearance in the Dark Avengers, or as long as he makes an appearance in Thor 4, see him making an appearance in the Dark Avengers. I already know that Christian Bale's the Gore, the God Butcher, but there's still room for someone else. So that's my other pick.
Okay. So I thought about that, and I'm like, you know what would be really cool is a guy, and there's no way he's going to do it because he is already busy, but a guy that was so underused and underutilized in the Thor Ragnarok, and that is Scourge.
Yes, I would love to see him.
I would love to have seen him, because we don't need to introduce everybody. It could be new characters.
Yeah.
And put on that helmet and then reveal that it's him, that he was still alive. So, yeah, that's what I would like to see. But
yeah,
I don't know. It could very well be just that they introduce Ares, like you said, and then bring him into this later on. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. I mean, since they already have Russell Crowe's Zeus, it would make perfect sense for them to introduce some. I would assume introduce other Greek gods, but we'll see. I don't know. So remember,
I didn't see a body.
I didn't see a body too. He could still be alive.
I didn't see a body.
Yes.
Right. Only reason I know Iron Man's dead because that dude was like.
We saw the body. He didn't. He was gone. We saw it.
So that's pretty much who I've got filled up for. Like, I'd love to see, and I'm sure you wanted to talk about this guy, so I'll let you go next. What else?
Okay, so the
choices that we both think that are
so if we're not doing two different teams, my obvious choice is obviously we're going to see Baron Zemo again.
Okay.
Because who doesn't want to see that over and over again? Also because we know he's working. Him and Contessa are already talking. They have a connection, and now that we know that scene in Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be originally Black Widow, and that Yelena was going to visit him, I think that maybe she might be part of this team as well.
I could stand.
I thought at first, like, maybe they'll keep the Taskmaster, but then I was like, I don't know now if they're going to put both of them in there. It would make sense for one of them, and if I was going to pick, I'd pick Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh all day, every day. No offense to the Taskmaster and all, but I don't know. I don't think he'll survive Black Widow.
No, I don't. But I think Yelena will end up, because if I remember correctly, before the pandemic and everything, when we knew Black Widow was coming out back in May of 2020, I thought there were some like scenes that people had leaked of her with Thunderbolt Ross, and I don't know, like, so yeah, I just don't know with Yelena and Thunderbolt Ross.
The way that I understood it was that, and you know more about this than I do, that scene with Thunderbolt Ross and Yelena was supposed to be at the end of Captain America and Winter Soldier, or Falcon Winter Soldier. The scene where Zemo's sitting there was supposed to be expanded and show them.
Yes.
The scene with Contessa and John Walker was supposed to be in Black Widow. That's what I've heard, but they switched them out because the movie and the show came in different orders. So,
yeah.
Okay, so obviously
I heard she also had a scene. See, I just heard that she also had a scene in Black Widow. That she had the scenes in Falcon Winter Soldier, but I could be wrong.
Okay. See, this is when I think, okay, if Kevin Feige likes things simplified, then the cast is getting too big. So that's why maybe they'll do two. Maybe there will be a Dark Avengers and there'll be a Thunderbolts. But let's stick with Dark Avengers. The obvious choice, like you said, is Black Widow, Yelena. And then you said John Walker.
Yes.
But there is somebody else we haven't talked about.
And that is?
Got him. Where is it? Right here.
When I found that, I was like, I need to use that GIF because, I mean, the Norman Osborn of it all, it just comes down to if the rumors in Spider-Man 3 are true, then if he is the benefactor that was trying to get Ghost, power or get the Ant-Man quantum stuff and everything like that in Ant-Man the Wasp, and he's clearly doing some things in Spider-Man 3. What is his connection to all this? Is it going to be a connection, or is it something that we're only going to see in the Sony verse? And it has nothing to do with MCU because Sony still has because I mean, they still have Morbius coming out, and they still have, which is semi-connected to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, considering the Vulture made an appearance in the trailer. I don't know. It's just.
It's their thing. They can do whatever, right?
They can, yeah.
That they legally signed something that said Spider-Man cannot appear in our Sony-verse movies like Venom or Morbius. Did they sign a contract like that?
I have no idea. I don't know how the deals worked. I know that the main agreement was focused on how many Spider-Man movies he was going to continue doing with MCU. I believe he has another movie set, if I remember correctly, because it's been a while since we talked about that contract re-signing after Far From Home. But if I remember correctly, it was not only the Spider-Man 3 and I think maybe a Spider-Man 4, but also one MCU another MCU undisclosed film. So there would be one more film that he would make in the MCU itself, but it didn't talk about Sony films at all. So
I don't know how much. Oh my gosh, and that kid is still young. He's gonna make a killing.
He's already made a killing. That kid.
He's set for life if they say sign another six movie contract. That's it.
Yeah, and if Uncharted with Sony does just as well too.
Uncharted, he doesn't have to. He's like after that he can die and he can go get fat and retire for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Holy crap! That's the amount of money that kid is going to be offered and still be considered a kid after this contract is up. That's crazy.
Exactly.
So that is our Dark Avengers team.
Yeah.
Who else would you all that are in the chat still, or if you're watching this later in the comment sections, who else would you like to see? And like I said, it could be a new character. Amanda's right. They could introduce Ares and then they could get him into this. Or I like the idea of using older actors, but actors that have already appeared in previous MCU movies. So it feels so good when you're like, oh, that's so and so from what's that movie that came out 10 years ago, and then bring them back together. I like that. Dark Elf.
Exactly.
Really? Is that your answer?
Here, Kenny had some. So Kenny said his Dark Avengers movie: Mockingbird, Bobby Morse, Quake, Daisy Johnson, Agent Melinda May, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and an all-female Dark Avengers.
Okay.
That would be something else. That would be awesome. I would love to see. I'm assuming they would recast Mockingbird, but I would love to see Mockingbird in the MCU. I know she was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. Yeah, but
she played Wonder Woman in that pilot, and she was in Friday Night Lights. I cannot remember her name, but that sucks. That apparently, S.H.I.E.L.D. is like gone. Let's see.
Yes.
James is saying Helmut Zemo, U.S. agent.
Yep.
Yelena Belova. Kate Red Hulk and Ralph Boner. Really? Ralph Boner?
Thank you, James.
Really? Steve can play a villain in the MCU.
Oh, I would love him as a villain.
That's who I would cast as Molecule Man. No Agatha, not this time around. No Mephisto. We're keeping it simple.
Yeah, I don't know. Because some people, because then I've seen where Scarlet Witch might be.
What about Vision, though? Like White Vision, who's still kind of
okay, so we still have White Vision and Scarlet Witch running around. Would they be would Scarlet Witch? I don't know where White Vision fits into it. He could possibly work for the Dark Avengers because he knows he was part of the Avengers team, but depending on his logical analyses that he does in his head, maybe he decides this is a better option. So it's going to be interesting to see. He might be one that we might see slip in there.
Malekith or Dark Avengers.
What Malekith in general?
Christopher Eccleston, Malekith come back.
No, not that one. Wait, okay, wait. I want the blue one.
It's the MCU one.
You're right. I know. Why do you have to make Malekith such a cool character? Why'd they make him look like that?
Mordo. I think Mordo is definitely coming back in the Doctor Strange.
He is in Doctor Strange too. But I don't know. See, that's one thing I was like, not every
Damien Dark. What's that?
I was like, I don't think that necessarily every villain that we have is going to show up. I think Mordo, his connection to Doctor Strange is like, I think that's going to be very focused on that and not a more outward universe type of thing. So I think it's going to be Mordo is going to be just Doctor Strange, his mortal yet. Is Killmonger dead? Did we see him die? I don't know.
We saw him in Bat PlayStation 2 graphics death. I will tell you this. If Chadwick Boseman was still alive, then I would actually consider, Killmonger coming back as a Black Panther, part of the Dark Avengers team. I don't think they would do anything like that with Chadwick passing away and honoring, the actor and also the role. If they're ever going to refill that role and recast him, they're not going to go I don't think they'll go the route of Killmonger wearing a Black Panther outfit. Not for Dark Avengers. Like he would have to be a good character. Prowler could be. Prowler, Dark Falcon for the or Falcon. That what's his name? Jose
Torres.
Yeah.
Or Javier Torres.
Or I don't know how old she is. Daphne Keane.
Let's see.
She's a teenager now. I'm sure she's what? 15?
I'm sure.
16. Patrick.
16. Yes, so she's old enough to be some of these I think would be Young Avengers if they were gonna I still think Kate Bishop because Haley Steinfeld.
Can we do Young Avengers next week?
Yes, yes, and we'll also give a review of Bad Batch episode 1 because I do want to do that. Because Star Wars Bad Batch comes out May 4th and then we air May 5th.
Gotcha. May 4th, as MODOK. Well, that's how Patton Oswalt already got that.
Yes, and what?
I thought it was a kid's show. And
you did?
I did. I thought it was a kid's show. And then it spills all over the place. He's like, shit. And I was like, I've done that. And I said the exact same thing. MODOK.
Professor Flex knows how to get to my heart. Ty Simpkins should be the team leader of Young Avengers.
Oh my God. As soon as I said Young Avengers, she's going to catch that kid. And the fact that you know the actor's name. What?
I follow him on Instagram. I'm just waiting for him to announce it.
Oh my gosh. He's going to remember you as his old follower. And I don't mean by age. I'm just meaning the crazy lady that's talking. That was just in Iron Man 3. That was, 10. Have you seen Mortal Kombat movie? Yes. Mortal Kombat comics and collections, not in collected editions, I don't think, but there are some that came out. The new movie was okay. Abomination and Justin Hammer. Yep, we got them on our team, man.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's logic.
That's right. His Dark Materials. That's right. She was the lead.
What's cooking? My wife made a pasta salad earlier.
Yummy.
Do you work in the MCU? Trust me, Thunderbolts is coming.
Yeah.
Do you do that? Is that what you do? You do? Shoot me an email.
And who knows? It could be Thunderbolts, but it's inspired by the Dark Avengers and Thunderbolts. So it still could be because Thunderbolts is an easy name, right? Dark Avengers. Kind of, but Thunderbolts kind of rolls off the tongue, kind of catchy.
No, dude, we haven't talked about that. I think they're gonna go Dark Avengers. You're already familiar with the title, Avengers. Avengers. You throw Dark on there, and people are gonna be like, "What's that about?" They're gonna be calling all their comic book friends, "Why are the Avengers dark?" Well, let me explain to you. You got three.
What happened?
Let me tell you what happens, man. Finally, somebody calls me when they need me. Anyway,
no one ever wants to talk to me.
They'll go Dark Avengers. I don't think they'll do Thunderbolts. If they mix both of them up, I think they'll go the Dark Avengers name. If they split them up, then absolutely Thunderbolts and Dark Avengers.
Yeah, because the only thing with Thunderbolts' name, which for not the fans of the comics, obviously, but just regular old, and I know a lot of these people, the people who just watch these movies, don't even know the comics at all. If they know what Thunderbolt Ross's name is and they hear Thunderbolts, even if he has nothing to do with it or it's not his team, they're going to get confused and it's going to freak them out. Every day.
I feel like his name hasn't been thrown around. Like, I feel like his name has been thrown around as much as like Black Widow's has. Because it's usually General Ross, right? That's what they call him.
Yeah, they call him General Ross. Yeah.
Oh, it's General Thunderbolt Ross, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see what route they go. McConaughey has been eyeing Marvel for villain role. Oh,
he could be a goblin.
I have grown to love that man. Like, because he was this actor that was just in a bunch of like romantic comedies. And then he did this movie called Mud, and Mud changed my mind about that actor. And I'm like, that dude can act. He's awesome.
That's a great movie. Set in Arkansas, the Delta region.
Yeah, I think I talked about that.
Yeah, I lived near there at the time when it came out. So
how about Deadpool? He could play a dark character. I don't think they got the money to get Deadpool
in a Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a Deadpool 3, but I don't know.
If Elaine, I love the fact that you still call her Elaine, being Madame Hydra as the leader of the Dark Avengers, we need George and Kramer to make appearances, and they all played villains. If only that was DC. Jerry could be Bizarro Superman, of course.
That would be fantastic. See, I always think of her as the Veep character, so that's why.
Yeah. And I grew up watching Seinfeld, so I think of her as Elaine. And oh my God, her dance, it's worse than Zemo's dance. It's amazing. Why am I even thinking about this? That's ridiculous, James. Why are you making
this Kramer? Does the actor who played does he, after everything that happened to him, Michael, what's his name?
Michael. Oh my gosh, Cosmo Kramer's the character's name. What the heck is his name? Michael. I don't know. Know. Is he canceled? Was he canceled for?
He was for a while. Michael Richards. Sorry, Michael Richards. I'm pretty sure he was.
I'm so ready for Young Avengers. We think it's coming. I mean,
yes.
They're setting it up. I mean, they're setting it, and they have been. Do you think Songbird will be introduced if Zemo continues?
Interesting.
See, I don't know. This is so fun. Like guessing all this stuff.
I know we're not doing a Masters of Evil too, because I was thinking about there's one character that Zemo is a Goliath, Atlas. Who is it that has a?
Well, talking about that, somebody just said don't spoil Thunderbolts because it has the Reigns of Castamere kind of shock level too. I agree with that. Reading that for the time, if you don't know the twist, it is kind of a holy crap. That's awesome. They could. I mean, Zemo could form his own team, or he could work with Thunderbolt Ross. That's why I think the two might be separated. Yellow Jacket could come back and be the new Dark Ant-Man.
I like that actor. Yeah, I wouldn't mind him coming back.
Why the last nerd? That's who said it. Nobody spoiled Thunderbolts for the mainstream audience. That's right. There's a lot of mainstream people that only watch TV and movies. That's Reigns of Castamere. Thunderbolts is a TV series, an easier sell, maybe. And I think most of these people, including what's his name? Oh my gosh, this guy. Amanda, help me out. This guy, Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell,
yes.
He'd come back to do a TV show for sure.
Yeah, well, Marvel TV show or Disney Plus TV show. Because we have to think, the funny thing is nowadays, with how prestigious TV has become, I mean, we've got Kate Winslet is doing a TV series, doing that TV series, The Mayor of Easttown on HBO, a woman who's won an Oscar. Like, so it's
there's several Oscar winners that have come back and done television. Or
if it's not daytime soaps, they're gonna come down.
Well, at one time it used to be HBO that pulled all the talent, right?
Yes.
Like it used to be HBO that would pull all the talent, and people would be like, "Oh, it's not just TV, it's HBO." Oh my God, was that an ad? I think it was an ad. But if you were an actor, you're like, "Oh yeah, I would do a TV show for HBO, of course," because they have movie level types of TV shows with a movie level type of budget.
Yeah. So Project Viking has an interesting thing. Given that Zemo's MCU character is so against superhumans, I think it's unlikely he'll form a team of them. But if we look at some of these characters that have, minus like maybe Ghost, Abomination maybe, but a lot of these characters aren't really super powered. Like, well, John Walker is now, but like Yelena would essentially not be, right? She's a very well-trained assassin, correct? Mm-hmm. So I have no idea what Moonstone would look like in this universe. So there's a possibility that And then Ares is a god, so I guess I don't think he hates gods. He just hates the idea of humans having power.
And the other thing is that they could also make him a different type of character. I mean, Zemo has changed.
That's true.
Than what he used to be.
Yes.
So perhaps he could be okay with using a superhero team to take down other superheroes.
And it seems that he was okay with using Winter Soldier for that purpose.
Yeah. And fake it, till the government accepts you. You can see it. That's a very Zemo thing to do.
Such a Zemo, especially in this universe. Very Zemo thing to do.
It's okay, Gabrielle.
It's okay. We still have news to talk about, so it's all good.
It's all good, man. Yep. And see, I don't know if that WTF moment is in the MCU.
Well, now I just have to read this comic because I need to know what it is now.
I don't want to spoil it for you because it is a cool moment. And now it's been all hyped up for you, too. And you're going to be like, that was stupid.
Yeah, what if it's like, that's not a Reigns of Castamere?
All right, Interstellar. But that was years after Mud, though. Like
not
Interstellar.
Years after. That was 2014. 2013.
Mud was in mid-aughts, right? 2008, 2007?
No, Mud came out when I was living in Arkansas.
No.
I went and saw it in Arkansas. Yes, I went to see it in Arkansas. So I'm so excited.
You lived there a long time, though.
I lived there from 2010 until 2015. It's 2012. So no. Yes, it came out in 2012.
Interstellar is what? 2016? 2014. Oh my gosh, 2 years.
That's only 2 years apart. It's not that much of a difference.
All right, my bad. Sorry. Somebody take my Matthew McConaughey badge away.
I think after a while, time just kind of melts for certain people when you get to a certain age. Just kidding.
What are you trying to say, you bitch? What are you trying
to say? Nothing. Love you all. Hey guys, love your show. And I launched my own comic universe called Life Comics. And it's in the App Store at Android, and you can download it. Awesome. Thank you. We'll definitely download that. That sounds great.
People, we're all just trying our best. I like your avatar. Thank you so much.
Yes. Very nice.
Lincoln Lawyer. See, I didn't see Lincoln Lawyer until after I saw Mud. And I didn't see
much love for Matthew McConaughey in this chat right now.
What was it? A Time to Kill, right? With who's Samuel Jackson in that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even like him in that. It wasn't until, I just love Mud. My only apprehension to it being Dark Avengers is if John Walker would be a part of that team. That sounds evil. He's already wearing a dark Captain America outfit, and they'd be like, look, man, it's because we're dark, like Black Ops dark.
Yeah, and the way Contessa kind of explained to him that the world's in need of Captain America, I think he's kind of moved past that idea of this virtuous, all good do-gooder and has come to realize that maybe that's not going to be his role. Just from how his conversation went with, how she talked at him.
I'm catching up with the chat right now. I don't think Michael Richards makes much sense. He did an episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, though. I never know what that stupid show is called. I always think it's Comedians in Cars. What did I think? Not this. I did not think it was called that.
Yeah, the Seinfeld thing, right? Or Jerry Seinfeld, that was his comedians. They all hung out and got coffee.
Michael Richardson is so. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton, but I have not love. Given that Zemo's MCU characters, you already read that plot twist. Sharon Carter from Winter Soldier was really Mystique, which is why she was in Mad Report. The other rumor I've heard about Sharon Carter is that she's a Skrull, setting up the events of Secret Invasion.
Yeah, a lot of people said that in the chat.
The argument I have about that is, why does she need to use that stupid technology masking her face if she's a Skrull?
Yeah, can't she just go and use that?
Be like, look,
be anyone she wants to be.
I didn't need to use that.
I kind of hope she's not a Skrull because I've gone away from. I like this idea of her character, this hardened ex agent who's seen the worst and is now like, F it, I'm doing what's best for me. I kind of like that idea to know that it's kind of a bait and switch to know if it's a Skrull all along.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's my opinion.
I don't respect Marvel or DC movies. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Have you not seen Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League? That's 4 hours of respect, man. Respect.
Ahmed has a good question here. He said, Could you guys please explain the Dark Avengers? Omar, go ahead and explain.
Yeah, absolutely. I just explained it to Amanda, so she'll give you the rundown. Go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah. Nope.
I just explained it to you. I assume you listened to every word I said.
I did. Okay, so I know the Dark Avengers were originally formed by Norman Osborn, who became the Iron Patriot. And pretty much a lot of the team members take on I guess they consider themselves the dark form of mainstream superheroes like Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, etc. And that's it. There you go.
Yes, after Secret Invasion, the U.S. government had no more faith in Tony Stark and his shield and all of that. So they were like, hey, we don't trust you anymore. So Norman Osborn stepped up and said, I'll do it. I'm used to being rich, and I also have fancy costumes. And that's pretty much the formation of the Dark Avengers. There's really nothing.
There we go.
We haven't reviewed episode 7 of Invincible yet. We are reviewing episode 7 and 8 of Invincible on Friday.
Yes.
So it's the season finale.
Yes, yeah. Right. So we're gonna do both. We're just do a back-to-back. Just do what happened last week that feeds directly into this week's episode.
Correct. Black Ant might be cool. Yeah,
it's true.
All right, man. What kind of news do we have? I think we're gonna go. We're done talking about Dark Avengers for now, so we will see. If somebody else has any questions about Dark Avengers, please pop in.
Yes, and if you're watching this not live, post it in your comments, and we'll be replying back to those as well.
Hold on a second. You're being manipulated by awkward, narrow-minded media control that has no artistic merit or perception of what Marvel was in the 70s and 80s. I'm going to tell you something right now, man. I've been manipulated all my life. You should have seen some of my choices for girlfriends. And they're a lot more narrow-minded than Marvel and DC are right now. They made her a villain because they pretty much took all of Sharon's character in the comic, Peggy in the movie. It's true. And they didn't give Peggy anything. Like, Peggy Sharon in the movies was so boring. And I know Amanda hated her.
I did not like her because
you're not a fan. But
I like her now. But to be fair, Emily Van Camp, Revenge. I mean, she's really good at playing these types of characters. So I'm glad she's getting to play this role because it is something that suits her. Because Revenge was a great show on ABC that she did. And she was one of those like anti-heroes, the bad guy you love to love, right?
Bad guy you love to love? Sure. White Queen. That's for me. I just found out She-Hulk was a half-hour comedy. Anybody think she'll break the fourth wall? I think with the success of something like Deadpool, they'll try to do something like that in the TV show. That TV show has to stand out because I don't want to compare to it's an Ally McBeal type of.
Oh God, I know.
If I hear that one more time, I think they're creative enough to make it stick out.
Yeah.
Peggy. Okay, Jesse. Touche. Peggy did get it. That's because Peggy's cute, man. Like,
who's she dating right now?
I don't care.
No, Haley Atwell's dating someone.
Hey, I don't care. She's dating. That chick is woo, and she's well put together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Reportedly dating Tom Cruise. That's who I knew it was someone big. That's
what? Yes. Okay, now I'm interested. What? That guy's still pulling young chicks like that? Dang.
She's 30. She's 20 years his junior. Yeah.
All right, I'm joining the Scientology church. Gosh dang it.
Oh. Ahmed, thank you for introducing us to Mythic Quest. It's a really funny and fun TV show. Thank you for watching it. I'm so glad you did. I'm glad. It is a great TV show. It is hard. It has a lot of heart and well worth the watch if you're anyone like us, or if you just like a good workplace comedy, or if you just love stuff like Dungeons and Dragons or World of Warcraft and things like that, and want to see what behind the scenes look like and the idiosyncrasies of all the different people who make those things. Check it
out. I think Amanda's going to start a show, actually a segment, because she is going to be away from the channel because she's having a baby, and babies take a lot of time and a lot of energy from their parent. So we're going to pre-record some things so she can leave them here on the channel, since you all miss her face, her voice, her tantrums. Is that the right choice of words? Tantrums?
Shut up.
Me and her arguing. How are you
Strongly worded discussions.
Pre-recorded shows, man.
Strongly worded discussions. Yes. Yeah, and that's not till October, obviously, when I have my baby. But yeah, well, obviously, I'm not going to be able to the next day to hop on and do.
I told her we're doing it live. We're doing it live. We're going to go to the hospital. I'm gonna get permission from the hospital to come in with camera and I'll make you look good. I'll bring one of those little lights that you like so much.
Trust me, after I have a baby there, I've already been there before. Ain't nothing gonna make me look good.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to spread any rumors. Peggy is not a Scientologist. The man that the actress is dating is a Scientologist.
It's Scientologist. Whether or not she has fallen into that.
The character, I don't know. Towards the end of Captain America, the end of Endgame, we don't know much about her other than that she left her husband to be with Captain America. But I mean, can you blame her?
Yeah.
Everybody blame her for leaving her man for Captain America. Whoops.
I love that.
There you go. I got you.
Oh God, there it is.
There you go. And for me. That one's for me. Okay. Where were we?
James, actually, I just found out today I got my blood results. So tomorrow I get the little card that tells me what the gender is.
Woo!
But I don't know. So we'll see. But definitely it was looking like an alien for a while, but now it looks like a human. So there you go.
We all start looking like little tadpoles anyway with tails.
Corey thought at first the first one, the 10-week one, looked like a cockroach because the way it was like it's still growing its legs. Anyway,
that is a Southern Emma Frost. That's cute. I like that.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm just. It's like I have to take a hiatus at work because I have to take maternity leave at work. I have to take a maternity leave here. But Omar's not giving me any benefits from maternity leave, guys. So there's nothing I can do.
Are you trying to cancel me? Hell.
He is not progressive in giving me maternity leave benefits.
Disney Plus Black Widow viewing.
Oh God, you guys! That's July. I will definitely be still. I'm not. It's not till October. I'm doing October, guys. I'll still be doing stuff well into. I'll be doing Shang-Chi live, all that stuff. But then
maybe not. Be doing what live?
Shang-Chi. I'll be reviewing that live when it comes out. But wait, maybe not. Maybe not.
For that,
maybe not Eternals. What?
Have you seen the argument for Shang-Chi?
What's the argument? No.
Okay, so a lot of people are like, you're mispronouncing it. It's not like that. That's not the way it's pronounced. All I keep thinking about is the argument about Ra's al Ghul, right? Like the argument about the actual words. Because I don't know if people realize or not, that character was made up by a bunch of white guys that didn't really know how to pronounce the names to begin with. So
it's true.
Comic book route, I'm like, well, if that's the way the creators pronounce it, then that's the way I'm going to pronounce it. I don't think it was supposed to be an authentic name. So people were upset. Like I saw people were like, that's not how you pronounce Shang-Chi. And I'm like, yeah, but I've been saying it like that for 30 years. It's hard for me not to. So
yeah. Who was I mispronouncing all these years? Oh, Josh Duhamel. It's Duhamel, but I call him Duhamel. So there we go.
Where did you find that out?
On one of our when we were talking about Jubert's Legacy, someone had mentioned in the chat, Amanda, it's not Duhamel, it's Dumel, or whatever. And I was like,
Kazar, dude. According to Stan Lee, Kazar. How is my buddy Curtis pronouncing it? Kazar?
Marzar. Maya, this is a good question that I can answer most likely. Are we getting Star on Disney Plus in America? So here's the thing. Probably not, because we have Hulu in America, which a lot of other countries do not. So if you remember, Marvel's MODOK will be premiering on Hulu. That is a Hulu show, obviously, because he says shit in the trailer. So granted, it's more plenty of times in Falcon Winter Soldier. But yeah, so we have Hulu. I think that's why they created Star as a way for those who don't have, in other countries who don't have access to Hulu to have those. Because remember, Hulu is, I don't think Disney wants to, or Disney, the company, is like, let's get they own Hulu too. So they're not trying to tell everyone don't use Hulu. They got to put stuff on there for adults, and they can put the more kiddie stuff on. Yeah, so that's
hold on a second. I need to address something in the chat. You never even read the 70th version of Shang-Chi. Don't even comment on it. And Disney is totally unworthy of directing Marvel. All right, so two things. Number one, yes, I did. Number two, it's okay to enjoy things that are based on the original medium. Like, there's a lot of manga that I enjoy that are based on video games, and vice versa. There's a lot of movies I enjoy that are based on comic books or books. You can enjoy the Lord of the Rings books and still enjoy the movies.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe not the Hobbit movies, but every other.
They're two different things, and that's okay. Your second point about Disney is totally unworthy of directing Marvel. I mean, did you see what happened in the 90s or in the 60s, 70s? Like, that's, we had the TV shows, and they're doing okay. I mean, there's a reason why these movies come out. And just because you don't enjoy them doesn't mean that there are other people that are not. So anyway, that's what I was going to say. I'm not getting on you. It just seems like you're really upset with Disney. And I'm sorry, but that's owns it. And then they obviously they're doing the right thing. People can try to boycott them, and they're still going to make billions of dollars
because they own most of media. Let's be honest. I'm still surprised. A lot of people were very surprised Netflix just didn't buy Sony when they made that deal. And I was like, well, I mean, they don't need to buy Sony, but I think first distribution rights are pretty okay.
The only reason I want them to buy it is just so they can use their superheroes. That's it. I mean, I think, competition is good. I don't want them to buy Sony. Sony can do their own thing. Like,
I would want them to.
Uncharted.
And plus, I don't need all of that. If they bought Sony and then we got to deal with this whole Spider-Man thing now on Netflix, all this, I don't even need all that.
Right.
Netflix is want to create their own shows because it's Netflix. Okay. Let's talk about some news, guys. Hey, Kyle. So first thing I want to talk about really quickly, because, we usually do shows and stuff about this, but this year we didn't because, and that was the Oscars. We talked about what was to expect or what we were thinking. So if any of you had a chance to watch this past Sunday's Oscars, you knew that it was kind of a letdown. Not because of if whoever won or didn't win, but mainly because the producers, this is a good point where the producers always say they don't know who wins. Only the accountants do, the ones who are holding the accountants who hold the briefcases. And it was very true in this instance because the producers decided they were going to do all this build up for Chadwick Boseman to win Best Actor, and they even switched out the Best Picture, which usually is the last award of the night. Big, hey, Best Picture. Here's all these people get to be on stage, and they did the Best Actor. And not only did Chadwick Boseman not win, the person who did win was the only person who wasn't even there. In fact, he was sleeping on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean.
Do you really think that Sir Anthony Hopkins gives a shit about the Oscars? Like, you think he woke up going, "Oh, another one," or was he like, "Woo"? I guess that's a big statement.
Maya, Nomadland's on Hulu for free right now. So yes, that's why it's going to be on Disney Plus Star for those overseas who do not have Hulu. But I watched it 2 days ago on Hulu. It's been on Hulu. I think it came out. It's been distributed on Hulu for a while, Nomadland. So yeah, that's kind of, again, Hulu's our Star because they're not. We got Hulu, so that's why.
That was a very convoluted. What Hulu's our Star? Oh, their Star.
Disney Star. It's Disney Star for the people in the UK and overseas is our Hulu. They do not have Hulu there, so that's why. So, but yeah, I watched Nomadland on Hulu. That's where it is.
I just wanted to remind everybody to smash that like button before we go talk about some of the recent news that Amanda's going to spill out here in a second.
That's right. Okay, so the Oscars mainly a letdown. I mean, Anthony Hopkins. I haven't watched The Father, but apparently he is actually very fantastic in it. A lot of those people who were nominated, well deserving. Just as much as Chadwick Boseman was, and his family even said, "Guys, don't worry about it. That he lost, not a big deal." It's Chadwick never put a lot of, Oh, come on now.
Connell. I was just talking about how you have a good
83 years old. I don't know what he's gonna do. But he was, he's okay. He'll be okay. He would. It's not something that's like, he's
gonna be okay.
Yeah, he's like, it's an honor, but he wasn't like, he would have been devastated. So they were like, please, it's fine. Yeah, so the overall it was very, especially for Chloe Zhao, who not only won Best Director, but then her picture wins Best Picture. The fact that it was unceremoniously like, there you go, and usually that's a big finish. And for her being the second woman and first Asian American woman to win an Oscar for Best Directing, it would have been really cool to kind of see that as the final. But again, it is what it is. And other than that, everything else is kind of expected.
Is this the first time that they've held? Because usually Best Picture is held to last, right?
Yes, it is, because it's the big one of the night, right? Because the Oscars should all be about not one person's achievement, but everyone, like the whole creation's achievement, right? That's what big picture, that's what the Best Picture is. It's not about just one person. It's about all those who created the film, right? So to make it about that one person, that's not the essence of the Oscars or what it should be about, right? So that's why a lot of people were very disappointed with and then the In Memoriam, it was so short. I mean, it went by so fast. It was like you barely had a second to register who they were honoring before it went to the next person. And then it was still long as all get out because they had to have these weird skits about like name that tune with Glenn Close, and then they let people go on with their speeches for too long and they didn't cut people off, and it was just like, what was the point? But then they don't play like before. They would play clips of the movies, things like that. Especially in this sense, a lot of these movies, they were either in theaters for a very short period of time, or they were on several streaming services or video on demand. And so it would have been nice to see some of those clips and stuff, especially when their whole theme was honoring going back to the movie theater. So to not show clips at all was, I mean, I think they showed them for like one or two, but to not show clips at all was very surprising considering what the theme of the night was. But yeah, so overall, it was kind of disappointing, but
yeah. I haven't. This was the first time that I did not watch the Oscars. Usually, it's always been tradition for me to watch it at least the last part, and then then you started having your party. But even before your parties, I would always go to my friend Stephanie's house, and she would always host some kind of thing like that. So it always became tradition for me to watch it and always play the game as to guess what's going to win. So. Leo, when was your Q&A, buddy? If your Q&A was like an hour ago, I don't know. Oh, news time. Look, he's breaking your news, Amanda. Ironheart has.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, we'll get there, Leo.
Yes, Leo, I got all those on my plate. So quick thing that Omar did want to talk about tonight. I'm sure you all have seen it, but Paddington 2 has now overtaken Citizen Kane as the highest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes because I'm assuming because of Mank. I think some people, I mean, why would Citizen Kane, why would someone want to drudge up or try to find reviews of Citizen Kane and find this? They found this 80-year-old review from like 1941 that I guess is considered negative. It's a weird review, and they threw it up there, and that took the Citizen Kane rating down from 100%. So now Paddington 2 is now the top rated film, I guess, on Rotten Tomatoes. And yeah, that's hilarious. And now we both want to watch Paddington 2.
Paddington 2. I've seen Paddington 1. Hey, yo, he's Peruvian though, so that goes a long way. I can't believe
Omar, it does.
Like, I saw Paddington 1. I used to love those books. Like, but it's such an interesting movie, and I haven't seen it, so it could be a masterpiece, to take over what is known as, the cream of the crop. Like,
that's right.
This is what every movie aspires to be. Like, respectfully, I like Citizen Kane. And honestly, the only reason I knew the twist when I watched it in film class was because of an episode of Ghostbusters when I was a kid, the cartoon. I knew what Rosebud was because of that cartoon. So I knew the twist in Citizen Kane when I watched the movie.
Yes.
I totally hated my essay paper on it, though, because she was like, "You're going to bring up Ghostbusters, the cartoon, in my class? Like, take film seriously?" And I'm like, that's where I found out about freaking Rosebud. But
that's what happens. That's where you find out.
Did the Paddington movies hold up? Genuinely haven't seen it. I like the first one. I took my daughter when she was a kiddo to go, like when she was little, to go see it.
Yes, that's why we're thinking that we might review it, just to review it for this and say, is it really? that great?
Is it really that good? Paddington 2? Dude, what if we get canceled for that? Like, people watch our review and they're like, these two are idiots, obviously. They don't know a masterpiece when they see one.
I would just want to see what people's reactions to it be. James, Amanda, did you see the news that Chloe Zhao, originally considered for Black Widow, according to Kevin Feige, but took herself off the list because she wanted to pitch? I did not see that, but I'm glad she did, because I hear whatever she's trying to do with Eternals is very inventive, and she has a lot of control over it. So, and especially with the kind of movie that is, the Eternals are essentially, it's a very strange premise to begin with, especially for Marvel. I'm super excited that she wasn't the Black Widow like director.
I gotta answer this one. Omar, do you believe in the Mothman? Okay, this is a guy that has seen a UFO, and we can talk about this another night. I've seen a UFO. Both my brother and I have seen it. I have been to the Mothman Festival when, oh my goodness, I was dating this girl. We went to see the movie, and we found out about the Mothman Festival. It's the movie with Richard Gere, The Mothman Prophecies, and there's a festival. So do I believe in it? I believe in a lot of things that are possible. I don't know about the Mothman, but anything's possible in this world.
Anything is. Speaking of, I guess we'll get to our next stuff about Ironheart. So not only did we find out who the head writer for Ironheart is, the TV series on Disney Plus, we also found out it will have 6 episodes. Man, they are not anything past 6 or 7 is like dunzo for Disney. Their Marvel shows are like 6 or 7 episodes, and that's it.
Okay, so is Ironheart going to be live action, or is it going to be?
Oh, it's live action. Yeah.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah, and Chinika Hodge is the head writer.
Y'all stop it. You're going to be asking me about the Jersey Devil, Sasquatch, and Chupacabra? Come on.
Yes. She has done stuff like Snowpiercer with Daveed Diggs, which is a great show if you haven't watched it. And I love Daveed Diggs.
Show. I love the comic. How is the show?
The show's pretty good. I enjoy it.
The movie's solid. The movie was solid with Chris Evans and the director, the guy that did oh my gosh, he did the Revenge trilogy. But anyway, go ahead.
No, anyways, but yeah, so she has some good credit. She's also did that Amazing Stories reboot that they did on Apple TV Plus, and then she's has some books of poetry for the Girls with Hips, collected poems and writings, dated MCs. And she was also a founding member of the hip hop collective, The Get Back, along with Daveed Diggs and others. So she apparently has a connection to Daveed Diggs, which is awesome. And I think she's going to be a really good voice for Riri Williams. I'm super excited. I think he does. Bong Joon-ho. Yes. Bong Joon-ho. Thank you, Bert. That is who was. Yes.
So there's a young Avenger. 6.
Exactly.
Is Ewing attached to any of this? Because her run on that character was amazing, and I know she comes from she's a poet, or is she a writer? I never know.
She's a writer. I remember I looked her up. I think she's a writer. Or am I thinking of? Yeah, I think she is. Eve Ewing.
Yeah, Eve Ewing. She was phenomenal. Her run on I hated the character of Riri Williams.
Oh no, she's a poet. She does poems. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought she was a poet.
So this person, Chinaka? I
don't know.
I'm just looking at her, how her name looks. Chinaka Hodge. Yeah, I think she's also a poet. I think that's, I'm excited to see what she's going to bring to it.
Yeah, I'm open-minded. It could be good. Let's see it.
I like Eve Ewing's run too. So I mean, hopefully they'll kind of tap into that a little bit.
Ooh, maybe professor, poet, all the above. And see, and I'll say this really quick. Like, that's why I went into this comic going, well, this is going to be crap, because they're giving her this because, she's black, she's a poet, and she's a professor. But she's never written a comic. What made Marvel think, oh, she can write a comic book? And holy crap, it was awesome. So I was like, I take back everything I said. She deserves to be writing this book. It was great. Eric Roberts is a super solid dude, super important, very personable. Dude, do you know him? Email. Oh, we're talking on Tuesday. We'll bring that up on Tuesday, man.
Oh my gosh. All right. Yes. So let's talk about some of the news. So the other thing completely caught me by surprise was the fact that the Game of Thrones prequel, House of Dragons, began production.
What?
Yes. I didn't realize that. Here's the table read picture of all of them socially distanced. Very beautiful table read area, by the way. Set
money spend in that room?
A lot of money. And I was so shocked because honestly, I've forgotten about all of their prequel. I know the Naomi Watts one, they took that off the list. That they did the pilot, didn't work, so they just dropped that one. But this has a ton of people. So you have Olivia Cook, Emma D'Arcy, Patty Considine, Matt Smith, so excited, Steve Toussaint, Eve Best. All these people will be the Targaryens. Rhys Ifan is also going to be in it. Ifans, I think maybe is how you pronounce his last name, as a different character as well, not a actual Targaryen. So, and then of course, as far as who's working on the series, so the Benioff and Weiss are not a part of it at all. Ryan Condal, who did The Colony, Miguel Sapochnik, who did I think he directed some of the episodes of Game of Thrones, if I remember correctly. They're the co-showrunners. So they're going to be doing stuff a little bit differently probably than Benioff and Weiss did. So that's good news too for those who are a little upset with those two after what happened at the last final season. And yes, it's looked to premiere in 2022. So they're filming, and it's going to probably, I bet late 2022, that thing's going to premiere. Yeah, I know, Carly, you and me both. I didn't realize they were still making any of them.
I remember we filmed an episode almost 3 years ago talking about this Game of Thrones prequel. It was one of my favorite episodes we did.
It wasn't even about this one. It was about we really talked about the Naomi Watts one. Because that one was casted. That one had actual cast.
That's still happening?
No, what? They canceled that one. They filmed like the pilot and canceled it. Yeah, that one what we were talking about that one because that actually had cast list. This cast list I didn't even realize. But if the Game of Thrones prequels were becoming as much of a mythos as the other books of the Game of Thrones that he still has to write, because I just feel like it was never going to happen. So,
man, you're not kidding. I honestly, I've given up on that series. Abstract. Disney isn't intellectual enough to represent any Marvel. They miss concept of any title. How many accounts do you have, man? All right.
Luckily, Kevin Feige helms it, and I think he loves Marvel. He loves the comics.
Oh, I thought he was filming this too. I'm like, that dude's too busy. I thought he was rumored to helm Star Wars, and then he was rumored to helm the Game of Thrones prequel. Now
no.
Marvel. Gabriel, how far am I from Hopkinsville? I don't know, man. I'm in an undisclosed location in central Kentucky. I can tell you Amanda's address, though.
Nope, you don't have to. So Miguel Sapochnik is one of the co-showrunners, and he's the one who directed Hard Home, great episode, Battle of the Bastards. So he's
dude, that guy's phenomenal.
Yes, so he's gonna be one of the showrunners. So hopefully, as far as the ones he's directed, did a pretty good job. So we'll see what happens.
Smash that Uncanny Amazing like button, you maniacs! Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah,
it's pronounced. We have a castle and everything. We're fancy like that.
Okay, so last bit of news, because this just appeared today that I wanted to show, and I know it's, whether or not it's actually happening. So that is a Sony Spider-Man TV spinoff. So apparently it is reportedly being filmed starting in August. It is going to be a TV series based on Silk, which I knew they were talking about making a movie about her a long time ago, but it looks like they're going to do a TV series, and it is going to reportedly end up on Amazon Prime. So that is going to be coming out, and it'll be,
that is so random. So a Sony, but
it says that Song Hyo Kim, who has also been on The Walking Dead and Jupiter's Legacy, is expected to be the showrunner and executive producer. They haven't announced any casting. However, now Phil Lord and Chris Miller are also producing it, and they have met with Adeline Rudolph, who had previously appeared in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and she's also Minerva Marvel on the Riverdale. I think I remember her, Adeline Rudolph. I think she's one of the weird sisters.
Aveline. Okay, so this is interesting because it's a Sony character.
Yes, she's one of the weird sisters.
And it's enforcing that rumor that Sony wants to separate itself from Marvel
See,
and
yes.
Disney properties and do their own thing. So maybe this is their trial of
see how it works.
Netflix, Marvel, right? They're doing their Amazon though. That's such a weird. I mean, it's
a weird
not
place to put it.
Not Disney Plus, but it's weird because Disney Plus. Okay, this is really strange. But Disney Plus just added. What did they add? Was it Spider-Man that they just added the movies?
I think so.
But they took away Spider-Man the '90s TV series.
They did the animated series. They took that away.
And I guess Sony now. Oh man, it's a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is the girl that that's her. Remember her? She was one of the weird sisters in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I watched the whole thing up until the ending. I don't know.
She's gonna play Silk.
She'll be Silk, yes, Cindy Moon.
Okay.
Yeah, which I mean, I think she will. Yeah, I can totally see her as Silk. Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at other pictures of her. Like, yeah, I could totally see her as Silk. Right.
Yeah, the picture of her right there looks like Wednesday Addams. So
well, it's hard. Yeah, but yeah, if you just she's.
I'll look her.
You look her up. She's Silk. But that is all the news that I had to share because that's all the stuff that was.
Yeah. So let us know what news you all have heard, what rumors. Like I said, I've heard about. The only other thing I heard was the role that Emilia Clarke is going to play.
Is it what? What is it?
So I've heard both the Skrull Queen or Abigail Brand, which is Sword, right? She's the head of Sword. Would she play a queen again? I mean, that's where my immediate thought went. Oh, she's gonna play a Skrull Queen. Like, absolutely. If she's gonna be casted in Secret Invasion, she's already played a queen. But would she make a good Agent Brand? Give her some green hair, and she looked good. But anyway, I don't know.
I mean, but who? So we don't even know yet. But what about Olivia Colman too? Like, who is she gonna play?
Who's first of all, I'm sorry. Who's Olivia Colman? Was she been?
Okay, so what was she? So have you seen The Favorite? That was that movie was it Rachel Weisz and Emma?
She's the older lady that was in Doctor Who.
Yes, she's in Doctor Who. Yes, the one who's most recently been in The Crown as the Queen.
The David Tennant TV show. Yes. What the heck's the name? America.
Broadchurch. She was in Broadchurch too. Yeah, she was in Broadchurch. Yes, that actress.
Sarah, are you starting rumors of Loki already? Because I know
I would love for her to get 2 seasons.
3 seasons. My goodness. Spider-Man has always had crazy licensing contracts. They couldn't put Sandman or Electro in the animated series because they were attached to Cameron's Spider-Man film. Oh my gosh, that thing. Well, then we got Sandman and Electro in the movies, and look what happened to that. Emilia Clarke should play Kitty Pryde. I think I hate to say this, I think she's a little older for that role.
Yeah.
She needs a dragon with Loki. That's cute. I like that, Phil. I like that. But I think she might be a little too old for that. And I even hate saying that because she's still young. She's in her, is she like late 20s, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's why I kind of see her in some kind of action role, like maybe Abigail Brand. I think that would be good.
I was kind of thinking maybe Olivia Clarke. She's 34, so she's a year younger than I am. And I can still kick it with the best of them. Olivia Colman, I would think she would be an awesome Skrull Queen, maybe, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, they could do whatever they want with Secret Invasion. What I want out of Secret Invasion, and maybe we can talk theories about Secret Invasion.
We'll have to do that.
We could do that in another episode. Before we do, like, can you give me the timeline of when these shows come out after Loki? Like, when is What If? When is Invasion?
Okay, so they don't have dates for Secret Invasion, Armor Wars. As far as the shows are concerned, so What If comes out late summer 2021. Hawkeye's coming out late 2021. Same with Ms. Marvel. So those will probably be somewhere in maybe I would say maybe September, October, November timeframe. Those might be appearing. Then after that, as far as Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special late 2022, I'm assuming it would be December because it's a holiday special. That's when the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special will come out because that is a TV show. But other than that, The other ones do not have dates currently. They don't have any set dates. So, I mean, if you think about it, Ironheart, they just found a head writer, so they got to write the thing first before they even put it into production. Moon Knight, it looks like they're starting production, so that may end up being 2022. We might see that maybe early or mid 2022 Moon Knight coming out, because we already know that Oscar Isaacs is, I said they're late 2021. This is 2021.
You said 2020. What if? Because that's already done, right? Like, what
that's
if
the animated series? Yeah, that comes out late this summer. They don't have I've yet to find an actual release date for it. Late summer 2021.
The two big ones: Armor Wars and Secret Invasion. 2022.
I would think they would probably late 2022 is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to do some theories about Secret Invasion and Armor Wars, what all that could entail. That'd be really fun. Because I really enjoyed this episode. We had a lot of interaction from the chat. Thank you, Gary, for dropping a like. And I feel like this was a good conversation. Like, we came at it from you came at it from the cinematic angle, which I love, and I came at it from the comic book angle, which sometimes doesn't make sense cinematically. There's things you can and cannot do in cinema that only work in comic books, and that's why it's a beautiful medium. And there's things that only work in the
movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
I think we're all in agreement that we cannot wait to see Florence Pugh in that.
I know you're very excited for that. Jesse asked me earlier about if I think Tom Holland will be still be. Well, I think he will still be in a sense, because I think he has one more, for sure, a Spider-Man 4, and then he has one more untitled Marvel film that he is supposed to be making an appearance in. So I still think he'll be in the MCU, but I think that Sony might use No Way Home to maybe try to, if the theories about what No Way Home is about, try to pull him into the Sony verse. We'll see. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Fraser. Become a patron. Right. As a matter of fact, I'm putting up a video about a Marvel omnibus coming out next year, exclusive to our Patreon. They have early access. I'm going to put that up as soon as we're done with this episode. So thank you, Fraser. Fraser's he's a good people. He's good people. We will be back on Friday, and I think we're going to be just talking about Invincible.
That's it. Just talking about Invincible episode 7 and 8. Let's see after he tells Mark that he needs to talk. Let's find out what that talk entails.
It was just like, I love you.
I just hope that Mark just doesn't buy into his dad's bullcrap. But we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I can't wait to talk about it.
I totally recommend Batman by Jeff Loeb, especially Long Halloween and Hush. Those are two phenomenal volumes that he did. Omar, because of you, I got the JLA Tower of Babel, and I love it. That for real is top 3 best Justice League stories. It's amazing. We reviewed it on Old Reader, New Reader.
We did. Part of that one, but nope, never mind.
I was going to see myself out. I'm sorry. I get all the NMC ladies,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Gotcha. I don't remember reading that one. Anyways, all right. So yes, so we will be back on Friday with Invincibles episode 7 and 8 to review. So in the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at @NewMcCon. Remember to check us out on Patreon if you want to support us. For $1 a month or more, you get access to Omar all the time. I told you he'll do your dishes. He'll also do your laundry. He may even take out your trash.
That's racist.
What? So check it out. So check out Patreon.
I can't do their taxes.
Well, it doesn't come. No one does my. Well, my dad does my taxes, so it's like it doesn't come to my
white man.
Because I'm.
Oh, carry on.
Okay, he'll do your taxes too. Oh, look. Oh, not Phil. Stay safe. Thank you, thank you, babe. Omar, because you got to try this.
Omar.
See, Omar, giving good advice to everyone.
Because of that stupid card, we almost wrecked the freaking car. You remember that? We almost died. Lyndon would have been born. Lydia and Alicia would have been born. I wouldn't be able to offer up doing people's taxes. Anyway, Shonda Sook, where were you earlier, man? I could have used you.
Yes, I just really have quarantine.
Time yourself next time, man. You got to be here on time.
Yeah. All right. And then, guys, don't forget to check out our merchandise on Spreadshop because you can get some cool near mint condition merchandise, just like what we've got on right now. Actually, these are 2 great samples from Spreadshop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So check it out. I think that's in some link somewhere on this channel. Anyways, and remember, guys, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Have a good evening, good journey. And we will see you all Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Invincibles episodes 7 and 8. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Good journey.